Hello, and welcome to LearnToProgram.tv. My name is Mark Lassoff. This is the class XHTML HTML1, an introduction to HTML coding. This is tutorial 1, your first HTML script. And in this tutorial, you're going to create your first HTML script. But let me talk about a few things first. First of all, HTML is the language of web browsers. It's the language that web browsers interpret to determine what to put where within the browser window. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. You'll also hear XHTML referred to. XHTML is quite simply the most current version of HTML. I'll talk about some of the differences in a later tutorial. For now, it's fine to use HTML and XHTML interchangeably. You don't need very much to start HTML coding. You don't need any expensive software. All you need is a text editor, like Microsoft Notepad, and a web browser. I'll be using 3 web browsers during the course. Here I've pulled up the Microsoft Internet Explorer browser, which is one of the most common. You also could use the Google Chrome browser, which is brand new from Google, or Mozilla's entry, Firefox. Now I'm going to assume if you found this course, you know how to use a web browser. But what really happens behind the scenes in your web browser when you type in a new web address? Well, let's go ahead and type in a web address. I'll pull up the news site MSNBC. And of course, in a few seconds, the site loads into the browser window. Now that the page is loaded, I'm going to go to the Page menu in Internet Explorer. Now, depending on which version of Internet Explorer you're using for the course, your menu may be a little bit different. But we're going to look for an option that says View Source, and I'm going to click that. What View Source is going to do is show me the HTML or XHTML code for this particular page. And I can scroll through and look at all the code that produces the MSNBC page. I can close it down again and be looking at the page itself in my browser window. If all that HTML code looked intimidating to you, don't worry. We're going to break it down and take it one step at a time. Let me pull up a different browser. This is Google's Chrome browser, and basically it's the same process to view the HTML code. I'm again going to go to the Page menu, and in Chrome they have a little icon for it. And this time I'm going to look under Developer, and just off the side of your screen is the View Source. There's also a keyboard shortcut for it in Chrome, Control-U. I click View Source, and this particular browser behaves a little differently and opens the HTML code in a new tab. But again, here is the HTML code for this page. I've opened up a program called Notepad. Notepad is available with every distribution of Microsoft Windows, and you'll probably find it under Accessories in your Start menu. So once you're in Notepad, you can start writing HTML. Now the first tag or piece of code in every HTML document is the tag HTML. Now, tags can be recognized because they're between these two brackets, greater than or less than signs. Now, every tag always starts and ends with the bracket like you see here. Now the next tag in most HTML documents is the header tag, and that's just head like this. Usually after the head tag you have the title tag, and the title tag is an important tag in every document. There's my opening title tag. So again, I've started with opening my HTML tag, opening my head tag, and opening my title tag. And I'm going to title this document My First HTML Document. Now that I'm done with the title, I'm going to write a closing tag. Now notice the closing tag is nearly identical to the opening tag, except it starts with a slash. Now in HTML, what you open, you probably should close. Almost every tag without exception should be closed in HTML. So I've closed my title tag, and now it's time to close my head tag. Oops, there's my slash, HEAD. It's a good rule that you close the tags in the opposite order that you open them, so your tags are properly nested. Notice I open the head tag, open the title tag, then close the title tag, close the head tag in the reverse order that they were opened. This is a good time to explain that every HTML document is divided into two sections, the head and then the body. So notice I've typed while I was talking, opening and closing body tags, and finally my closing HTML tag. Now the header has information that's generally for the browser itself and that the user generally does not see. You will see the title tag, that's the exception to the rule. All of the content that appears in the browser window appears in the body. The body has all your content. So let's type out a traditional first message, hello world, that'll appear in the browser window when this particular HTML document is loaded into one of our browsers. Now, I've put hello world between paragraph tags. Opening paragraph tag is P, closing paragraph tag is /P. Now, that means hello world will be output to the browser window. Now I've got a complete and well-formed HTML document. In order to display it in the browser window, I of course have to save it. So we'll choose File and Save. That'll bring up my save window. And I'm going to go ahead and save this right on my desktop. Now when I save it, I'm going to call this first.html. I've got to use the .html extension in order for the browser to recognize it as an HTML document. You can also use .htm. It doesn't matter, they're interchangeable, .html and .htm. Make sure you're saving as the type text documents. You don't want to save it as anything else if there's an option available, because that could cause characters that the browser won't recognize to be introduced into the document. So I'm going to click Save, and the document is saved on my desktop. If you've done everything correctly, the document should appear on your desktop with the icon of the browser that's your primary browser for your computer. There's the document called first.html that I saved. Now I'm going to go ahead and open it up by double-clicking. My Internet Explorer browser is going to load, and in a moment the document that I created is going to appear. There we go, hello world. I also want you to notice that what we put between the title tags, my first HTML document, appears in the title bar of the browser. The title is very important, and a lot of people often forget or ignore title tags. The title tag appears not only in the browser window, but if I were to save this document as a favorite or bookmark it, it would be saved under that particular title. Also, when my site is indexed by Google, it'll use the title for indexing the site itself. A little bit earlier in the lesson, I showed you how to view the source or the HTML code of any document. So let's go ahead and view our source code, and there, of course, is our HTML code that the browser interpreted in order to put hello world in the document window and my first HTML document as the document title. Here's a quick tip that's going to be useful for you throughout the rest of the course. I'm going to go ahead and erase the content of the body, so we just have the body tags opening and closing. I'm going to do the same thing with the title tag. This is what I call the basic document structure. And almost every HTML page that we write in this course is going to start with the basic document structure. So I'd highly recommend that you go ahead and save a copy of this somewhere on your computer so you don't have to retype these basic tags every time you create a new document. I'm going to call this bds.html for basic document structure and save it on my desktop. Hey, I really appreciate you watching this tutorial. In tutorial 2, we're going to learn how to style text with HTML. I'll see you there. Don't forget, this entire series is available with exercise files and high-resolution videos at www.learntoprogram.tv.